What's going on, guys? Anime Philosopher here, and today I'm going to bring you one of my favorite kinds of videos. This is the philosophy kind of videos. What's the philosophy of anime? That's why I call myself the Anime Philosopher. I love making these videos. They're my favorites to make. So today we're going to do one, and this will be my first anime philosophy video, but this segment is called Who Is. This segment is about certain characters, so I'm going to go over who are these people and what can we learn from them in real life, because I know there's something probably for all anime characters that we can take and apply to ourselves in real life. So today is going to be a special segment since this is my very first philosophy video. Maybe I'm being a little too eager, but I really want to get into this because I'm really excited. So today is actually who are the Donquixote family from One Piece. Now, if you guys aren't caught up, if you haven't seen Law's backstory / Corazone's backstory / Doflamingo's backstory, this is going to be filled with spoilers, so just be aware of that. So let's start talking about the Donquixote family. And when I talk about the Donquixote family, I'm not talking about the pirates that Doflamingo makes. I'm talking about his actual family. So we're talking about Don Quixote Homing, the father, their mother, who is unnamed, Don Quixote Doflamingo, obviously, the eldest son, and Don Quixote Rocinante, the younger brother of the Don Quixote family. So those are who we're talking about. So, I mean, let's just get into this here. So I'm going to start with Homing, the father. So what primarily happens to this family is they were world nobles, which for those of you who don't know, in the world of One Piece, world nobles are considered like gods. They can do whatever they want, whenever they want. If they go down to the surface, they can literally look at someone and be like, you're my slave now. And they have to be their slave. They can call buster calls on anybody, which is, I mean, a marine onslaught on an island, including an admiral and a couple vice admirals. I mean, they have crazy power. But anyway, they were world nobles. And Homing says, you know what? I don't want to raise my kids up here. I don't want to have this privileged life. I want them to grow up and be good people. So I'm going to take my family and I'm going to move down to the regular world, out of the holy city that the world nobles live in, and I'm going to move down to the normal world. And of course the other world nobles are like, dude, what are you doing? You know, why? Well, he's like, no, it's going to be good. I want to raise my kids to be good people, and I think we should live down there. I think we should all live down there, but I'm not going to make that choice for you. So they're like, you know what, whatever, get out of here. And they actually say that he defiled the world nobles, the celestial dragons. They defile him, and so the Don Quixote family were no longer celestial dragons. They were no longer world nobles. But as a last favor, the world government did give them a house and a lot of money to move down so that they could live peaceably for the rest of their family's life down on, you know, the regular island. But sadly, the island that they were at was an island that was filled with people who were hurt by the celestial dragons, by the world nobles before. So these people did not like the Don Quixote family, because this family who's celestial dragons, oh, you're just going to live down here with us because you think we're the same. They got mad, and they did some horrible things. They destroyed the house that the Don Quixote family lived in. They beat them severely, and anyway, long story short, the family ends up in this shack with their mother, very sick from malnutrition, and she actually ends up dying, despite the fact that they were trying to feed her and everything, but she ends up dying. So with that, Rocinante, the younger brother, is really sad, and so is Homing, the father, but Doflamingo, the eldest brother, is mad. He gets angry, and he uses that hatred. And as they're like hanging on a side of a building with burning under them, Homing and Rocinante are like, please let us go. Doflamingo's like, I will kill you all. And that's when everybody goes, whoa. We gotta slow down, whatever that was. That's scary. So, Treble, who is an 18-year-old at the time, finds Doflamingo and sees that bloodlust and sees that Doflamingo has Conqueror's Haki and gives Doflamingo a devil fruit and a flintlock pistol. And Doflamingo shoots his father in the head, takes his father's head to Majoris, to the Holy Land, and says, listen, this is my dead idiot of a father. I want to be a world noble again. I want to be a celestial dragon again. But they say, nope, your family's off the list. Your family is no longer celestial dragons. You're not worthy. You're dirt. And Doflamingo's like, you know what? Fine. You don't want to let me in? I know information that you don't want out. So you're going to keep me safe if you're not going to let me in. So with that info, he goes and he starts the Donquixote pirates by himself. He collects his own crew. So, where did Rocinante go? The younger brother. Well, after their father died, Rocinante went to join the Marines. He went crying to Sengoku, who eventually became the fleet admiral, but I don't believe he was fleet admiral at this time, but he went crying to Sengoku, and he joined the Marines, and actually was a very accomplished Marine, and was sent back to the Donquixote pirates to actually infiltrate their ranks as a Marine spy. So, not present day, but close to present day, Rocinante and Doflamingo were on the same crew, Doflamingo being the captain, Rocinante being one of the 4 elite members. So, that being said, most of the backstory there, what can we learn from Homing? What is Homing's thing? Homing genuinely wanted to raise his kids in a good environment. I think what Homing did was good. But what the lesson there is the world, hatred accumulates. So the celestial dragons did horrible things to the people of this island. And so this island did horrible things back. Even though Homing never did any of those things, presumably never did any of those things, they still hated him because hatred accumulates. So, and I think that's the whole moral for the Donquixote family if we go down. But, so, Homing, wanting to be the peacemaker, wanting to be the bridge between these two people groups so that the hatred would stop, ends up dying as a cause of the hatred at the hands of his own son, his firstborn son. So let's move on to Doflamingo. Let's talk about him a little bit. He is the next line of the hatred. So the hatred goes from, the celestial dragons. They did horrible things to the people of the island. Then the people of the island did horrible things to the Donquixote family. Then Doflamingo does horrible things to his own family and also to the people of the island, which we see him destroy. So what that says to me is that Doflamingo took all of the hatred. Because Homing didn't want the hatred. Homing was trying to live peaceably. He wanted to be the peacemaker. But, unfortunately, it didn't really matter because Doflamingo inherited the hatred anyway. And I think probably one of the main reasons Homing decided to move was he started to see the influence of being a celestial dragon in his son Doflamingo and how conceited he was becoming, and was like, we're going to move. We're going to get away from this. So that's what I think we can learn from those two, that hatred accumulates. If bad things are done to you and you do bad things to someone else, they're going to do bad things to someone else. It's going to keep going unless someone stops it. And Homing attempted to, but he was blown over by his son. He was destroyed by the hatred. He couldn't stop it. So, enter Rocinante, the younger brother, who is, by the way, one of my favorite characters in One Piece is Donquixote Rocinante. I mean, I think he's an awesome guy. Now, he became a Marine in an attempt to stop his brother's hatred. And we see him do stuff like kick children out of windows because he doesn't want them to join the crew. They think, oh, he hates children because he keeps trying to make these children go away and not join. Which, to his credit, doesn't work, unfortunately, but it works for one kid, Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, and that's where I think this totally comes full circle. Doflamingo inherited all that hatred, and he kept it with him, and he probably spread a little bit of it too, but he still kept that hatred with him. Leaving Rocinante, since their father was dead, leaving Rocinante to be the peacemaker to stop the cycle of hatred. And so, when Rocinante tried to stop it by becoming a Marine. He was sent back in undercover to learn and to keep future generations from experiencing the hatred, because he didn't think he could save his brother. And in the end, he was right. He couldn't save Doflamingo. Doflamingo was too far gone, but he also couldn't stop Doflamingo. He couldn't save him, but he couldn't stop him. We see that when they both, they're holding out the guns at each other, and Doflamingo goes, you're like Dad. You're not going to kill me. You can't. And he was right. And he kills Rocinante. Rocinante wasn't able to pick up that slack, and that would be the end of the cycle. Hatred would win if Rocinante didn't pass peace to someone. And that someone is Trafalgar D. Waterlaw. He passed on, through all of his trials to make law better, to heal law, he passed on the desire to fight hatred and create peace and eventually take out Doflamingo, which we see Law has a huge part in taking out Doflamingo, and that's his main goal, with the help of Luffy, who I think is a very much peacemaking person. But in the end, the peace did stop the hatred. It just wasn't through Rocinante. So what do I think this teaches us? I think that the big method is you don't always have to do it yourself. Fight the good fight, be a peacemaker, and try to stop that cycle of hatred. But if you can't stop that cycle of hatred, know that you might not have needed to. Because I bet you Rocinante thought, I failed. But he didn't fail, because he inspired in Law what his father inspired in him, which was the desire to make peace. So that's, I think, the most important thing. One of the most important things we can do in life is inspire in others the desire to make peace instead of to fight. And so with that, I would say that's the main thing that we can learn from the Donquixote family. So, guys, thanks for listening to me, make my little spiel about the Donquixote family. Like I said, this is some of my favorite videos are going to be the philosophy videos. I love this. This is what I call myself, the anime philosopher. I love doing this stuff about how can we apply it to real life, because anime's helped me in my life a lot, for sure. So, guys, if you liked anything I had to say, please like this video. If you disagree with me, or if you think there's more things we can learn from the Donquixote family, I would love to hear about it in the comments section below. Guys, thank you so much, and until next time, this is the Anime Philosopher signing off.